Distinct pleasure to welcome Shannon Barnwell with Salvation Army. Shannon's going to be sharing with us her experience. She's been with Salvation Army a little over 2 years. In her classification, she's been working 7 years, and she's married and has 2 lovely bird children. All the way from Colchester. Please put your hands together for Shannon Barnwell, please.
Thank you so much. We're going to get the microphone. Oh, yes.
Beautiful. Yes, I've done it.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you for inviting me today. The Rotary Club has been amazing all around Windsor for Salvation Army for many years. Salvation Army has been in Windsor. I want someone to guess this. I'm going to test you guys this morning. What year do you think Salvation Army started in Windsor?
1925. 1918.
I'll cost you $1. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You're getting. She's getting closer. Close. 1886. That we've been in Windsor for. So we're probably one of the oldest charities still going in Windsor. So Salvation Army in Canada, our mission is we exist to share the love of Jesus Christ, meet human needs, and be a transforming influence in the communities of our world. Salvation Army is the second largest organization, charity in the entire world. We're in 132 countries in the world. So it's quite a large organization. The vision, we're an innovative partner mobilized to share hope wherever there's hardship, building communities that are just and known love of Jesus. So like I said, we're the second largest social services in the entire world, and the largest non-governmental provider of social services in Canada. So each ministry unit, we're considered a ministry unit in Windsor here. So all around the world, like I said, 132 countries, Salvation Armies in the world. Each ministry unit offers different services. So in Windsor, we're going to be different from other locations. So I'm going to let you guys know what we do specifically in Windsor, because a lot of people know the name Salvation Army, but they don't know what we offer. So in Windsor, we actually have 2 main locations. So our Windsor Center of Hope, which is on Church Street, and we actually have a Learning Corner Childcare Center too off of Lausanne Road there. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the different services that we offer at both of these locations. So at the Windsor Center of Hope location, this is where we offer a lot of our social services, one of them being the food bank. So our food bank is open 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 11:30 until 2:30 p.m. And those are for anyone of low income and who's in need of food. And what we've noticed in the past year is there's been actually an increase of 30% of families utilizing food banks. And that's not just for Windsor, it's actually all across Canada that they've noticed an increase. As you guys know, with inflation, grocery costs have gone up significantly. So we are seeing that effect, especially at our center. Last year alone, we helped over 7,000 families with food, as well as extra assistance at Christmas time. We have another program. This one is fairly new to our center. It's been at our center for about 3 years now. It's called Soap with Hope. So this is a free community shower program. So anyone in the community is welcome to come and utilize this program. So this is open from Monday to Friday in the morning from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. And this can be by appointment. So people can call to make an appointment for their shower, or they can just walk in. If they do walk in, they might have to wait if someone is in the shower. And we do have volunteers to assist with that. So we provide anyone using the shower program with towels, soaps, even clothing upon request if we have that clothing that they require. So they just have to show up. They don't have to have anything, and we'll help them so they can take that shower. Another program that we have is our community meals. So again, this is welcome for anyone in the community to come on Thursday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. that we serve in our cafeteria. Normally, in previous years, we've had an average of around 60 to 70 people that will come and have a free meal. But in the last few months, we've seen a major increase from an average around 80 to 90 people that will come now. So again, we believe this is probably due to the inflation that we've seen that increase. And this costs us roughly $5 to $6 per person for us to feed for those meals. Since Salvation Army is a religious organization, we do have chaplain services. So we do have a chaplain who is on site 5 days a week, and he offers various programmings as well. So on every Saturday morning, there's a program called Cafe Church. So that we have Grace Bible Church that will actually come and help him with that program. And it's a nice devotion that they have, and just to have nice social time, and they have coffee and snacks usually during that time as well. So some of our Christmas services, one of the ones we've been around for, I want to say around 40 plus years, is our Christmas dinner. So we always have our Christmas dinner the second Wednesday of every December, and we hold at St. Clair Center for the Arts. So this Christmas dinner is welcome. Again, anyone in the community is welcome. We do see a lot of homeless individuals as well as low-income families that will come for that dinner. And last year we had 650 people show up to that dinner. So again, that's coming all from our pockets. We want to help as many people as we can. It is a huge cost, so we're always looking for people to sponsor and for that meal. And we usually, it's a really nice night too. A lot of people enjoy that night because we have entertainment. We usually have a singer, Abby Nevis, who is amazing. So she will come and sing. Last year we had Santa come. We had a donor who has graciously brought their Santa and gave out backpacks for the children who showed up. So it was a really nice night. Another service that we offer around Christmas time is our food hampers. So usually it's the last week of Christmas, and we usually see a donation of turkeys from grocery stores. So we will give out full turkeys to those families for a 2-week period before Christmas to anyone who's utilizing our food bank. So last year we helped over 400 people with having a nice Christmas meal with their family. So one of the main services that we offer at the Windsor Center of Hope is our emergency shelter. So we have 32 emergency beds. So we have 2 beds to a room. So these are individuals who have nowhere else to go. Otherwise, they would be on the streets. And we provide them with shelter as well as breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, anything they require, any other services. We also have an on-site doctor and nurse 3 days a week. It's called Shelter Health. And that's a fairly new service to our center as of January. So anyone who is utilizing our services, such as the emergency shelter, they can go and make an appointment with the doctor or nurse instead of going out, waiting hours maybe in a walk-in clinic or going to the emergency room. So this is a better alternative if it's an acute injury, obviously. Another thing that we offer that a lot of other shelters don't offer is we have housing workers on site. So the reason why we have housing workers is, of course we want to, make sure that the individual is safe, they have shelter, they have food. But instead of just sending them off on the streets again without having a plan in place, we want to try to fix that issue. We want to try to get them stable and on their feet again. So those housing workers meet with these individuals. They have to see them at least 2 or 3 times to try to set up an appointment with our housing worker. So our housing worker will work with landlords in the city. Our housing workers know of the best affordable accommodations, And it takes away the stress for that individual that they have to deal with paperwork, with landlords. It's a lot easier process. So we're helping them find the most affordable places in Windsor. And to date, we've helped, this year alone, we've helped 40 individuals with being housed, that are using our emergency shelter. So it's a great resource for a center. So they're not continuing to stay in that shelter system. They can be stable and then eventually get a job, and then they're able to be self-sustaining. So these are just some photos of how a basic room looks in our emergency shelter. So pretty basic. We just have those two beds in our room there. Another service that we offer, a lot of people don't know about, is our supportive housing. So we do have 24 dedicated private rooms for supportive housing. So to be eligible for this, you have to be of low income, you have to be male, and you have to have some sort of mental health illness. So with the supportive housing, there is a fee that they pay for, we'll call it rent, but it's a little different than that. This makes it affordable for them to live in our center. We offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all is included in their stay. And we have, they have a TV in their rooms. It's very private, as well as any programming. So as you can see, this gentleman, he's cooking. So we have a cooking program once a month that some of our volunteers will run with our supportive housing floor. And we run many other activities such as games or just like walk-in chats, just to try to get more social. As I said, a lot of the gentlemen that are staying on this floor, they do have a mental health illness. A lot of them have social anxieties. So even getting them out for activities, it makes a huge difference in their lives. This gentleman in particular, he used to actually be a cook. And once he came to our center, he was just so excited that he could actually cook again instead of just showing up and eating in our cafeteria. So he actually shared his recipe with us. These are potato latkes that he's making there. And this is how a typical room. So on the left, you can see that's the private room. And then on the right here is a lounge area. So we have two different lounge areas on our supportive housing floor. So we have like a TV in there. We have a bookshelf. We have games. So some of them sometimes I walk in there and they're playing chess, that sort of thing. So it's just a nice social area that they can gather if they would like to. Another service that we offer at our center is our outreach department. So we have 2 dedicated outreach workers, and this service is available to anyone in the community. It's not just those that are living at our center. So we have many different outreach programs. So one of them is an ID clinic. So we actually have an ID clinic, a walk-in ID clinic 2 times a week. So for example, let's say you've lost your birth certificate and you don't know how to get it. You can come to our ID clinic and our outreach worker will help you fill out all of the paperwork that's required, send it to the government. They'll send us your ID and then we'll call you and say your ID is here. So it's a really easy process, stress-free. Our workers will deal with that. We also offer a tax clinic every from January until usually April, May. We offer free tax clinics. So we helped 270 individuals last year just with 2 of our outreach workers with taxes. So this service is available to anyone of low income. Again, anyone in the community is welcome with those services. Other general outreach program or services that we offer is even just by phone appointment. So if someone is in a financial bind or they just don't know where to go, they're new to Canada and they have a goal of learning English classes and getting a job. Our outreach worker will set them up for a goal to reach whatever their goal is, set them up with the resources that are available in Windsor, and they meet with them periodically throughout a 12-month time frame for them to reach their goals. So that particular program is called Pathway of Hope. And again, that is a newer program to the Salvation Army. We've had a lot of graduates from that program. So like I said, anyone from the community is welcome to use that program. If someone just has a goal in mind, they don't know how to reach it, they can actually be referred to our center, and then our outreach worker will work with them through that to reach their goal. So this is our second location. So this is the Learning Corner Childcare Center. So we have 90 spaces dedicated for children from 0 to 13. The day typically looks like, you know, I always say a typical childcare center, but we do have our chaplain that will go and do a little Bible study, I would say, every day that he'll go and do that. But there's arts and crafts. They play outside. We have a playground as well. And this is located at the Lausanne Parkway. Normally we see that it's pretty full most of the time. Summer, it's a little quieter. But this is for families that are of low income. So it's a much affordable childcare option for them. And so this is our contact information. So if anyone is interested, you can reach out to myself. Our phone number, this is our Windsor Center of Hope general email. You can also find, I do updates daily on the different programming and different success stories as well. That's something that I like to focus on. So anyone who's being housed from our program, any fun tidbits that are going on at the center, I do post on our social media. So we have Facebook, we have X, we have Indeed, LinkedIn, we have Instagram, and we have YouTube as well. So you can actually find some of our success stories on YouTube if you want to check that out. Are there any questions for me? Yes. So we're actually funded through our headquarters, like Salvation Army Canada as a whole. So they will run various fundraising initiatives throughout the year. So anyone who is donating to Salvation Army Canada headquarters in Toronto, it goes into a pool. And basically all the Salvation Army in Canada, we send out basically if we are in need of certain things, whatever our budget is for the year. They'll take a look at that, and at the end of the year, they'll give us however much is required for a center to keep going. So that is a huge thing for us. Also, local donations. So with those local donations, so if someone is donating to our Windsor Center, 100% of that stays local to our center and helps those vulnerable individuals. We do, just as of recently, we have relied a lot on the city of Windsor. That's another thing I want to mention, actually. We do have, fairly new as in the last few months, we're offering rooms to couples. So our shelter used to be predominantly men. And now, though, if there's a couple that comes, we have 4 dedicated rooms for couples. So they don't have to be separated. They don't, you know, you're not sending them to Downtown Mission or Women's Welcome Center. They can stay together in that. So City of Windsor is actually funding us for those rooms. Without them, we would not be able to keep that going. With that being said, we do have an additional 4 rooms. In total, I believe it's 16 beds. We do have space for, but we rely on that funding. We currently don't have that funding. We're trying to look for sponsors or someone who is interested to sponsor a room. So then we can open that up because as of right now, actually the last 2 years, I should say, we've been at full capacity. All shelters have been in the city for the last few years. So we have to turn away around 50 individuals each month because we don't have the space. So that's something that we've been working on. We've really worked on getting more space within our building, utilizing every single room that we possibly can. It's ready to go. We're just waiting for the money for it. So that's always been a huge issue for our center, is trying to get more sponsors so we can help more people that are on the streets. Because as of right now, there's just over 100 individuals that are homeless that don't have a place to stay in Windsor. And that's just because the shelters are full. Yeah.
Shannon, having worked the kitchen and observed some of the clientele that you have,
yeah,
it's obvious that there could be conflict or violence break out, I guess, amongst some of the clientele? How do you deal with that? Or does it happen, first of all, and how do you deal with it when it does happen?
So honestly, I haven't seen a lot of that. I've only witnessed it once. And we do have a security guard that is on site. Now, we used to have a security guard on site 24 hours, but due to the incredible cost of having a security guard that long, we've had to reduce that to, so we have a security on site from 4 p.m. until 9 a.m. So the rest of that time, then, if we do run into an issue where we notice a behavior is maybe escalating, we would have to ask them to leave the building. So normally these situations happen not necessarily right in our lobby, just before they are, and they might get upset. So we have to ask them to leave. And if they don't, then we do call the police, and the police come and get that person. But honestly, we don't run into a lot of that. Luckily, when that situation did happen, we had a gentleman who was upset in the cafeteria, and he was upset with another gentleman. Luckily, we did have a security on site to sort of de-escalate that situation. But honestly, it's a pretty, yeah, we don't really run into a lot of that violence. Our staff are fully trained in de-escalation, as well as myself. So we normally know how to approach those situations. But yeah, luckily, like I said, I've only seen that once in my 2 years there. So it's a pretty peaceful place. Our particular center is very, very strict with those sort of things. So if someone is causing an issue, and they're aware of this before they come into our center, we go over all the rules with them. If they do cause any sort of issues, they actually can be barred for our center for 10 days, depending on the situation. If it's a more severe situation, then it might be a longer amount of time, or maybe indefinitely they're not allowed at our center. So we are very strict with that, and they're aware of that, and I think that helps it as well. Kettlebell. Yes. We do have kettle. Yeah, every Christmas. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. So the question is about our kettlebells that we have at Christmas time, and if that money stays local. So yes, if someone is putting money directly in one of our local kettles all around Windsor, Essex, that 100% will stay local. If someone is donating, let's say, and they're sending it to our headquarters, because our headquarters, they will send out fundraising letters to try to raise money for Salvation Army. So if you get a letter like that, most likely it's from our head office. If you send money back with that letter, that necessarily doesn't stay local. That goes into that big pot I was saying, and they reevaluate all Salvation Army budgets to see where it's appropriate for different funds to go. But if someone directly donates to our center, Windsor Center of Hope, or puts it in one of our kettles, 100% of that stays local.
In this room, I see a who's participated in our club, or either ringing the bells, or the Saturday night soup kitchen, holiday.
That's amazing. Yeah. So there's a lot of individuals you guys have been involved, and I know Bob, with talking with you before, you've been coming every Saturday. It's from January to March, every Saturday. Yeah, I know. So you guys have been amazing with helping with that. So you've seen kind of firsthand some of our clients and been at our center, which is amazing. But I do want to say, those of you who have not been to our center before and are interested, I would be happy to show you a tour of our center, and to learn more if you want to get involved with volunteering as well.
Follow up on that question, and one thing for me is, you do that every night, right? We just do the Saturdays, but you do it every night of the week?
Yeah, that's correct. So our cafeteria is open breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day for our clients. So those, yes, that's right. So people who are living within our building, such as our supportive housing floor, emergency shelter, so around 60 individuals, they're having breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. And then we do have our community meals, which are from 6 to 7. So that's a little bit more extended on that day. But yes, every single day we have our kitchen open. We usually have, we try to get volunteers to be available breakfast, lunch, and dinner to assist some of our cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, they go to the full screen there, Shannon, so we can see who's on. Maybe there's
Oh,
a
yeah,
question on-
absolutely. Absolutely. Let me get
Another question to that I have is, well, not all the mics work, I guess, today. Another question I have to that is, you
There
said
you go.
Thursday, anybody can come, and you've had 80 and 90 people?
Yeah, so the
Right, that-
yeah, so with our community meals on Thursdays, like I said, it's open to the community, anyone who's in need of a hot meal, and that's when we see around 80 to 90 individuals using that. And then so I'm in charge of the volunteers as well. So I usually try to book at least 2 volunteers to help out with that night, just because it is a little more hectic, it's a little more busy in the kitchen. So yes, it is open for the community from 6 to 7 on Thursdays.
And not just the winter?
No, it's all year round. Yep. Every single Thursday. Yep. Yep.
They didn't get your volunteers and your staff to your church.
So you're talking about our South Windsor Citadel Church, I'm guessing, right?
Volunteers from your church, or are the staff in the church, or is it sort of the branch of the church?
No, so with South Windsor Citadel is, it is a part of Salvation Army, but it actually is a separate from our Windsor Center of Hope. Yeah, so it actually is separate. So from my understanding, we do have just a handful of volunteers that are attending the South Windsor Citadel Church. Volunteers, I think we might have 1 or 2, so not a lot. The congregation there has dwindled quite a bit from what I've heard from Nairi, Captain Nairi Bond, who is there. But yeah, it's we are separate from South Windsor Citadel, but we are, but we aren't at the same time. Yeah.
Is the South Windsor Citadel still part of that big branch of where the money goes?
Yes,
It's
correct.
costs going
Exactly. And the other thing I'll mention too, with the South Windsor Citadel, we split the kettles with them locally too. So, for example, we actually split the duties too. So, the South Windsor Citadel is in charge of the volunteer piece with coordinating the volunteers at our kettles, and we deal with all the other aspects of it. So, we do it jointly. That's the only thing we do jointly together is the kettle campaign. And we do split the funds 50-50. So it stays local and goes to both, because the South Windsor Citadel actually has a few different programming going on there as well. I know they have children's programs and stuff like that as well. So that is the one that's split. But yeah, like you said, if there's money being sent to our Toronto headquarters, again, South Windsor will send them their budget, and then from that big pot, they'll decide how much goes to South Windsor. But it is separate. Yeah.
I just had a question about the Soap for Hope.
Yep. So Soap for Hope. Yep.
So is that just for the residents in your program, or is that full, that can come off the,
Yeah. So the Soap for Hope program, I would say mostly is available for those in our community, because on our shelter floor, we actually have separate showers on there. So anyone that is using our shelter, we have 5 shower stalls on that floor. So our shelter floor is on the 4th floor. So on the 4th floor, we do have that entire, anyone who is utilizing that shelter has access to those showers at any time. And our supportive housing floor, same thing. They have those 5 shower stalls. And then we do have 2 separate showers that are on our ground floor. And those 2 shower stalls on our ground floor are specific for our Soap with Hope program.
people that are not necessarily in your job?
That's right. They're actually out from the community. So anyone who is living in our center already, normally they will just use whatever's on the floor that they're living in. So this is a community shower program. So we don't ask any questions. Anyone is welcome to come and use those showers. Yes, correct. We have one in each, one in the women's and one in the men's. Yeah. Actually, that one we rely heavily on donations from the community. So for our soaps, actually, I was able to get a donor, Ocean Bottom Soap Company. I don't know, you guys have heard of that. I believe it's out in Tecumseh. Anyways, they're amazing. So I will call them up. If we're ever low on soaps, I'll call them up and they're like, oh, yeah, I got soap ends. I'll cut it up for you. So they've been amazing. We have another great supporter, the Windsor Youth Homeless. They had kind of have this association that they built themselves. And this one lady I'm in talks with there. And whenever we get low again, that's if we're low in conditioners or soaps, they'll actually fill medicine bottles filled with like soap and they'll label it for us. So we're actually, luckily we do have a great amount of supply for that program thanks to those two supporters. One thing that we always seem to be low with are towels. Again, that's we're looking for donations for towels always for that program. Unfortunately, we don't have a budget that is associated with the Soap with Hope program, so we do rely heavily on any donations for that. Clothing, that sort of thing, again, is by donation. So if we have it on hand and they request it, then we can give them whatever we have. Yeah. Yeah.
As a follow-up to that.
Sure.
Get right into the Rotary Club, we might entertain getting you files of soap or personally towels.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but we need somebody to tell us what.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I can definitely do that. I'll reach out to you guys whenever we need it because we do have people who they'll call and be like, what are you in need of, right? So yeah, those are things that we're always looking for. Even the travel size, like toothpaste, toothbrushes, those are things, razors, anything like that. We go through quite a bit, even through our shelter, not just our Soap for Hope program, but through our shelter as well. Those are some things that we go through a lot of. So, yeah. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for having me today. It was great getting to know you guys. And if you ever want to reach me, come see me after the meeting, and I'll give you my number, and then we can meet that way. Thank you, everyone.
On behalf of the club, Mary has a picture gift for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's a token of our appreciation.
Oh, that's so nice.
Our history with Salvation Army goes back to Bill Carey, one of our former members. And we approached Bill. I happened to be in the club at the time. We said, Bill, what can you use? Nothing. We're looked after. We begged them. We actually provided money for linens and towels. That was probably close to 30 years ago.
Amazing.
So,
that's amazing. Well,
thank
thank you
you
so
for your time.
much. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
absolutely. No, thank you for having me. Oh, for sure.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Wait. I want to take a picture. Oh, yes. I'll take the picture.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.